Yeah, it's done.
Thank you, Dr. Sakinat. So I guess I can start again to welcome everyone to today's webinar, and thank you for making it a date as usual every Tuesday. For today, we are going to have the updates on our different technical groups. The team led by Putu on access and control, and then the team led by Aliyah, and the technical coordination by Miriam on SIDA localization. Miriam is going to be presenting the workflow in the hospitals. And of course, our publication projects, the articles on the special issue of the Data Intelligence Journal. Last week, we had an article by article review and presented the status of each article based on the structure of the journal. So today, in addition to the overall summary of the status of our submissions, this is going to be an overall summary, not a lengthy one like last week. Professor Miriam will also be making a presentation to give a general idea of, from the reviewer and the scientific point of view, of what the VODAN Africa special issue article, what is generally expected. And of course, we have the opportunity to also uh, ask questions and have discussions. And starting the new year, this is the first month from our communications team. We are going to be starting the monthly newsletter for the VODAN Africa and Asia project. So Obina will make a brief uh, presentation on what the implementation and operationalization of the newsletter will look like, how we'll solicit for articles, the kind of contributions we need. Obina will make a brief presentation on that as well. So I would like to welcome everyone and hand over back to Putu for the presentation on the access and control.
Thanks, Professor Francisca. I will share the screen.
Yes, I can stop sharing myself.
Yeah. Oh. Hello everyone. I will share the progress of access and control security. Basically, uh, I'm sorry. This is my first presentation about the access and control because before today, I'm still like discussing a lot with Eric Flickensield about the what is the scope of the access and control. So as you know that we discussed this about the access and control framework proposed by Eric, and it divided into four parts. The first part is ethic and compliancy, personal health train, and ontology-based access control and anonymization layer. It's based on the different perspective. So right now, I split this focus into four focus. Of course, I use uh, the four layers as a basis of the focus of our discussion in access and control, and it's about ethics and compliancy. It's about GDPR. Ethics and compliancy is about GDPR and local regulation and risk assessment. And personal health train is a technology to customize the sharing data in database, and ontology-based access that can create, modify, and query semantically rich policies, and also anonymization and pseudonymization that can make data cannot identify, but then for pseudonymization, we still can identify the patient data. But uh, we should check how the FDP works in Foreign Africa before we implement this four layer. So this architecture is proposed by CEDAR team, And basically, this is about to integrate CIDAR in FDP architecture in local clinic. So before we apply the 4 layers of security framework. So there is a question that how to secure the environment. So that's the question that we should arise, and also we should focus on this question. So there are 4 processes that I will do to make sure that access and control in FDV architecture will implement it. The first one is understand the general idea and identify the methodology to increase trust. It means that so we cannot directly implement the technology in the architecture, but we should ask first about, for example, how the requirement of doctor to secure data. So what is the meaning of that secure of the patient data in Vodan Africa case. So and also we should check the access and control. I mean, like which user can access which kind of data. So we should identify the user that can access to FDP, and what kind of data that they can access in this architecture. So and the second step is I will discuss with internally and also with the expert that also related to this to the method that we'll use to secure the architecture. But I discuss this with Alia, and Alia also agree with me to have a discussion, because it will be really the connection of CIDAR architecture will be have a strong connection with the security and access and control. So so then the second step is to discuss about this, and then after we discuss how to identify the risk assessment, and also the the access and control requirement from each user, so we can implement that after we discuss internally and also with the expert. And then after implementation, we can evaluate if our objective is can if we achieve the objective of our access and control. So basically, I will repeat it once again. So basically, we will do this we will use this 4 layer as a basis of access and control, but we check the FDP architecture in Vodan Africa to to adopt the not all of the layer, but to identify and adopt the necessary technology here, necessary method here, and then we implement the method and also evaluate is it our purpose is achieved in the implementation. So then here is the team for access control and security team. But I'm still open to accept the other member of access control and security team. So I will be the team leader, and Mariam, Getu, Sarah, and Alia will be my technical support. And also Akindele, Eners Endozi, Kudakwasi, Mariam, Oluwole, Philip, Susan, and William. And I put this member from I check the WhatsApp group, and then I put the others then technical support as my team. And I put also I create a file repository about this 4 layer, and also I will put the documentation of this architecture from FDP architecture of Vodan Africa. So then we can read the method in the repository, and then we can decide which implementation that we will discuss in the internal discussion. But now I'm still waiting for Eric for the questionnaire, because he promised me to give a questionnaire about risk assessment, and then it can be like we can adopt that questionnaire as a that will be like more Fodan Africa, that will be more like match with Fodan Africa conditions. So I'm still waiting for that now. It is in the layer of ethics and compliancy. So thank you. But and if someone want to join the access and control, so I'm really welcoming you if you want to join our team. Back to you, Professor Francisca.
Thank you so
Or is
much.
there any question?
Yes, thank you, Putu, for the excellent presentation and for putting this together. You all recall that this is very, very crucial to our DCC with the Leiden University Medical Center. So we'll want to invite more members from the country teams to join the technical implementation of the access and control for Northern Africa and Asia and the LUMC project. It is very, very important. The list that Putu has presented here is not exhaustive. We would like to invite many more data stewards and members of the country's technical team to join this. We're going to be having weekly updates from this team. So membership has to be strictly for those who are really interested in contributing to the projects. We're going to be having weekly updates just like we have for the CEDA, and we hope to have for the DSW team as soon as team of Getu and Sapsin are able to come online and join us in the weekly meetings. So if there are questions or clarifications, this would be a good time to bring them forward, or if there are suggestions. Professor Miriam, Beth, I know Beth is responsible for the certification aspect of this project. So if there are contributions from the technical leads, we'll be happy to have them.
Yeah, that's good. Did we already share the presentation? Is it on the chat? So I can discuss it also internally with some people.
Yeah, I will share right now, Bert. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that would be good to put it, and I can pick it up and I can share it.
Yeah.
All right, Putu, I'm going to hand over back to you since I know you just made a presentation, but you're actually, is there something in the, oh, okay. Yes. You're also hosting today's meeting. So I think we'll go to the next presentation, the next update. Putu.
Yeah. So if there is no question, then we move to next update. It is about implementation of Fodan Africa Asia monthly newsletter by Obina. Obina, please.
Could you make Obina a co-host? So in case you will want to share his
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
So he is co-host now.
Yeah, he's co-host now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Obina, hi, we're with you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Okay, I think I can share my screen now.
Yes, we can, and if you could just speak a little bit louder, Obina.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, just a quick one. I discussed the idea with a prof about we starting a monthly newsletter is an opportunity for us to connect. It's going to it doesn't need to have any official name, but it's just for us to be in the mind of our audience. So The purpose of the newsletter is to communicate our success and our achievements and to build a wider audience because people can right now the emails that we are sending is limited to people that are to we that are attending the webinar. So we can also have a wider audience that are not attending the webinar, but they can be in touch with our progresses and our achievements. Then it is also an opportunity to explain many technical concepts in Vodana because we started this project since March 2020. There are many things that that we've done, and people that are coming into the into the Vodena team, I think it's good for us to explain many things to them. And sending mails is one of the ways to communicate with them and also reinforce many important concepts. Then it's also an opportunity for us to increase our digital footprint because when we are sending emails to people, it also helps them to connect with what we are doing, and people can resend the emails to other people. Then one of the ways we can achieve this is we already have a current mailing list, the one that Putu sends to us every week. I believe I'm not the only one that he sends the mails to. So, but we can also encourage people to subscribe to our mailing list on I think we on LinkedIn, we on Twitter, we have a website. So we can encourage people and we can put a script on the website that will prompt visitors on the website to subscribe to our newsletters. Then the new development, when we have new developments, new articles, new achievement. For instance, there is an article I wrote here. I think can you see this screen?
Yes, we have your screen. Yes, we can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, no, I think it's this one.
Okay.
Okay, this one. This article that I think we have this article beginning of this year. No, ending of last year. I wrote the article ending of last year. So this is something that we can send as a newsletter to people for them to know what we've achieved as a team. So this is just a sample content that we can send to people in our newsletter. So the new development articles, achievements, and reminder. For instance, during the Codata conference, we can when there is another conference, we can use the emails to communicate with people to register, send them a reminder about the conference proceedings and other things. So that is just an overview of it. But once we get the email lists, we are going to start immediately. So okay, this one is a sample content. I want to start making. I'm working on a content calendar for Vodana. So this one is a sample content of what I wanted to post yesterday. But since I'm supposed to do a presentation today, so I want to show it to everyone. So if you have some things that you want us to show on social media, you can also always communicate. Then we can post it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Obina. Is there like specific requirement from members? Should we expect a call for contribution? And the next thing, we want the first edition of the newsletter to be ready by the end of this month to go out. Should we expect like a call for contribution from members, or what? Is there anything we need to expect so that we can prepare to react to those?
Okay. Okay.
Can I also add to that, maybe, Francesca, so that Obina can take it into account? And really very welcome idea and very nicely elaborated. It's really wonderful. What I'm thinking is that this could tie in maybe, I don't know how you have thought about it, with the communication that we will need to the new groups that we are trying to reach very soon, especially the clinics and the ministries of health and so on areas where we are seeking to expand in Ethiopia. Wandimo is here in Zimbabwe and in Uganda. So it might be good, in addition to a general audience, to also see what we would need and what we would need to communicate to explain what we what we have done and what we would like to do and why we are doing it to these audiences. Would that be a possibility?
Yes, I think.
Yes, Prof, that is
Yeah.
possible. Actually, I know Bina has been thinking about this, but what strongly inspired this was, you remember you commissioned him to prepare a report for a new member of the VODAN Africa board last week. So yes,
Right.
it is. Yes, so it is possible to communicate, to kind of have
Right.
tailored,
Yeah.
communication that are tailored towards these communities where we're trying to expand to.
Yes. Excellent. But I think it would be good if there is a call for contributions. I just think maybe, Obina, that you could give some leadership, that there is that there are some articles that you plan to include, especially with the vision that we need to really communicate to these new partners that are coming into this our Vodana network, and that we cover it also at that general level so that they can get into the story, because it's quite difficult if you have not been following this for the 9 months that we have done. Then there is a lot that has happened that they may not immediately
Yeah.
relate.
Okay, I'll work on it.
But it's a really very excellent idea.
Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Is there any question? Okay, so let's move to the other update. It is from update from CIDAR project from Alia and also Mariam. Maybe one of you can speak about this.
Yes, but so I'm going to give a short summary from yesterday's meeting. So yesterday we had a meeting where we mostly discussed the findings of Mariam's work and specifically on creation of CIDAR templates and what kind of attributes there and the possibilities to transfer DHIS to medical forms to the CIDAR templates. So actually, Mariam presented the data management at the level of clinics and what kind of platform clinics use. In this case, it's DHIS2 platform. So what is the procedure for data entry on DHIS2 site and how data is entered and what are the medical forms, what kind of medical forms are used, and also Mariam has shown her translation of those medical forms into CIDAR templates. So we went through all the field and attributes of the medical forms that Mariam showed us. And also this week, the team, CIDAR technical team will be given an assignment to do the before the next session. So also we are going to discuss other possibilities regarding how to manage different versions on CIDAR templates and also property creation and everything related to ontologies and vocabularies next session. So now we are still, so now we created a VODAN Africa group in CIDAR platform. So I think we are almost done with the registration over there. So everyone is added to the group. So and hopefully tomorrow the team will be given an assignment to do before the next lesson. So that is basically it from our side.
So, Aliyah,
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
want to add to the assignment is we are building a series of problem sets, because the expectation is we want to have a strong technical team that can continue this implementation in the new partner hospitals and also in the existing partners. So we are building a set of a sequence of problem sets that will enable the members of the group to kind of familiarize themselves with the platform, and at the same time have mock problems that can be solved based on the expectations in the hospitals and clinics where the systems will be implemented. So it's an arrangement that we're putting in place to. So where I'm going is for those who have not joined the CEDA technical team, this would be a good time to join now so that they're not so far behind later on, when we must have gone into a lot of implementation steps in the project. Next week, Miriam is going to be speaking more on the current state of the art in the workflow for the hospitals. She took an excuse that she won't be able to make a presentation this week. So next week, we're going to be having the state of the art in the hospitals, with the case study of Uganda, the hospitals, two hospitals actually in Uganda, on the workflow process for their digital health management system.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you for the update as well.
Okay. Thanks, Alia, for your explanation about the CEDAR's update. So if there is no question anymore about CEDAR's update, so we can move to update on articles by Dr. Sakinat and Professor Miriam. So I will hand over to you, Dr. Sakinat.
Yeah, thank you, Putu. Aliyah, I sent my slide to you. Can you share it?
Yes, just a second.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Dr. Sakinat. Thank you so much.
Yeah, can we start from the beginning? Okay, thank you. I welcome everyone to the next another edition of our weekly webinar. So we are giving updates on articles submitted for our special issue. Next slide, Aliyah. Just like we have right from the onset, we have 4 sessions. The first one is state of the art of the fair deployment under COVID-19, then the fair equivalency, regulatory framework and adoption of fair data. And the third one is semantic interoperability, data science analytics and curriculum development. And the last session is relevance of fair to the sustainable development goals. Next slide, please. Yeah, we give January 15 deadline for article submission. So these are some of the articles that were submitted. Article 2 by Miriam and the co-authors, and Article 6 also. Then Article 7 by Puchu and the other co-authors. Article 10 on health information streams in clinics. So the case study of Uganda by Miriam Basaja and our co-authors. Then Article 12 on fair adoption for digital health in Kazakhstan by Aliyah, and Article 17 by Dr. Miriam and other co-authors. Next slide, please. So we continue the numbering. Article 9 by Folorunsho and other co-authors. Then Article 21, 24, 26, and 30 on fair and open data differences, a comparison of objective and principle by Puchu and other co-authors. Next slide. So we still have more articles submitted before the deadline by Puchu also. Puchu, I can see there's replication in the articles here, like this one, the article 11, number 11 and number 12. So I thought that last week we agreed that you should merge it into one, or maybe we remove one. Then another one by Kudakwashe. We also have article 34, 35, and 36 submitted already for review. Next slide. So these are the summary of submissions that we have. We have 16 articles submitted as at today, this morning. Then one article from section 1. We have 10 articles from section 2, 3 articles from section 3, and 2 articles from section 4. So the bulk of our articles come from section 2. So next slide, please. And just like we have been saying, we are now gradually moving from article submission now to review of first draft and communication to authors. So that is the stage we are moving towards now. Next slide. So we still have our links. They are still very active and viable to upload abstract and article. Then we also have sample journals that we can visit for related work or review of related work. Then we also have some guide tutorials too that can guide us on useful articles for our write-up. Next slide. Yeah, and the manuscript organization, just to remind us, the organization of our manuscripts for publication in the special issue. Next slide. Thank you for your time. So I hand over to Professor Miriam.
Sorry, I couldn't get myself unmuted. Dr. Sakina, that was very good, excellent, and also excellent work of all of the authors. Maybe I can share my screen, Alia?
Miriam, you can share it now. So.
Yeah, great. So I think you can see my screen now. Is that right?
Yes, yes, Prof, you can see.
Yeah. So I have also gone through the articles, as has Dr. Sakinat, and I'm just, there is a typo here. I'm just being with Dr. Sakinat in that we have done the abstract, the process of the abstract. We have had the conference on fair convergence. Then we had the first draft of the articles, and the stage where we are now at is that we can now select the articles that are ready for the first editing by Susan. And the question is the process of the selection. So we have at this moment 16 articles that that are ready or getting ready. We also have the overview article that still needs to be written, but which we will do on the basis after we have reviewed these 16 articles. So we would have 17. So we need to see with Feng Hong, but that is our task, if in the first special issue we can publish these 17 articles. In terms of the division of the articles over the topics, this is quite good. I think this could be very well justified as a first special issue to be followed, perhaps with a second one if we can. If some of the other articles will be ready a little bit later. So I'll take that up with Feng Hong. Susan, who will be editing the first draft, she is ready. And so we can start sending the articles. And we should do that in a smart way, in the sense that Susan cannot edit 17 articles at once. So we should begin to have the editorial process with the articles that are most advanced. So the articles that are ready for the first draft, they would be checked on the following things in terms of content. First of all, there needs to be a clear introduction. That means a review of the existing literature on the topic. That can already include references to articles that are also published in the special issue. But if that is not yet the case, we might also do this afterwards. We will do making all the cross connections across all of the articles. Just one moment. Then the article needs to have a clear problem statement. The problem statement needs to identify what, from an academic perspective, the academic problem is that you are trying to address in that article. So it is always something that is not yet known. So for instance, in fair equivalency, in the case of Mariam, the problem was that she needed to find a methodology to understand to what extent the Ugandan regulatory framework was conducive to implementation of FAIR in digital health and healthcare. And then in the case of Putu or Kudakwashi, that methodology already exists, that Mariam has developed. So then the problem statement is this methodology that is already existing, to what extent is this applicable in the context of Indonesia or Zimbabwe, etc. So the problem statement changes along the way depending on what was already available and what work was already done. So the research objective and the research gap, they emerge from that problem statement. That doesn't need to be long. Also the introduction is maybe 2 paragraphs. None of this needs to be long, but it needs to, the work needs to be underneath it to be solid. So then this results in the research objectives or the research questions, or the research objectives and the research questions. But the research objectives and the research questions cannot be very different. The objectives and the questions, they need to align. Then what also needs to be given is a justification of your research approach and your design. What kind of a research did you do? Was it an experiment? Was it a literature review? Was it a case study? What is kind of the nature of the kind of work that you have done for this particular piece of work that you are presenting in this article? Then it needs to have the methodology. So the methodology is different from the design, because the design is kind of your overall approach, but the methodology is how did you collect your data and what is your data. So by looking at the methodology, I did a comparison of documents, or I carried out interviews, or I did a feasibility study of a design. It was a design research to make something and see how it worked in a particular context. Then it needs to have findings. However, whatever you do, even if it is a literature review, you always have findings. So these need to be then presented there. And they also need to be analyzed, which means what is the meaning of these findings. So then finally, your conclusions always have to answer the question of your problem statement. So how, after addressing what your problem was that you were going to address in this article, having done all of this work with the findings and analysis, what is your conclusion on that question or on that objective that you had? And then finally, a discussion of the meaning, the reflection on those findings, the meaning in a kind of a broader perspective. What can we learn from what you did? So these are the elements that have to be in the main document. And then, of course, as per presentation of Dr. Sakinat, it needs to be substantiated with the references. All the other elements that are necessary for the special issue, like the biography and the abstract and so on, that is something that we can work on in the second or the third draft. So for now, for the first draft, what we are really going to look at is which of the articles are ready on these points. And then we are going to also, when this is being edited, really check that all of these points are clear and that they're really clearly distinguished within the article. So I would think that a next step would be for each of the first authors to identify whether their first draft is ready based on this checklist. And then let us know, let the team know of Dr. Sakinat that their article is, that you think your article is ready. You can also put me in a copy, and then we will be sending that on. We'll be looking at it and then sending it on to Susan. I also want to mention that the team of Mackay University has also been going through articles and sending comments. So I think that the best way forward is that there where they have made relevant contributions, we link that and we notify that to the first author, and that the first author then tries to connect to Dr. Araya and the team. The articles have been looked at by Dr. Araya, by Getu, by Samson, by Mahalet, and by Kokop. So all of them have done work on it, and I think as much as we can, we should we should benefit from those comments. Then the way of working of Susan is that you send the document to Susan, or we send the document to Susan, but put you in copy. What is important is that when you inform us that the article is ready, that you send us the Word document that is ready for revision, and that on the document it very clearly indicates who is the corresponding author with Susan and with us. So maybe Dr. Sakinat, you can also make a note on that, that every article that we get in and that is sent on, that the article identifies very clearly the authors, the first author and the corresponding author. Then the corresponding author will be put in the email to Susan. And Susan, she will review the article in track changes. And she also makes comments. And she also puts in red anything that maybe she may have misunderstood or wasn't very clear. So if you get the article back, then you can accept the track, you can review all of the track changes, or if you think it's easier to accept them, then you can accept them and then go through the whole article again. But there where she has made something red, or when she where she has made a comment or question, there of course you have to address it. And she comes from the perspective of making sure that the article is professional, that it is academic, but also that it can be understood by somebody who, by a readership that may not have the expertise. So if she thinks that something is not clear or that you have to look at it again, then of course you have to take it seriously, because it means that for her as a reader, she had difficulty understanding it. So then for us as authors, we need to make sure that we clarify it so that we can reach the audiences in a way that the article can really be understood well. Then it comes back, so then when you have done that work on the review of the first draft, then it will go to a second draft, and probably even a third revision before it is entirely cleared for publication in the special issue. And the very last check, we will make sure that all the references are in compliance with the structure that we have, and that, well, all of the details are there as is needed. So I think, Sakinat, that is it from my side. Back over to you.
Sakinat?
Yeah, thank you, Professor Miriam. I think that we have taken in all the instructions given, and what we expect from the authors for the first draft, and we are going to start effecting it immediately.
That is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to respond you, Dr. Sakinat. It is about the article. I'm sorry, I just removed the article 7, so it's a duplication. So there is no article 7 because it is same with article, I don't know. It's about the equivalency of fair and regulatory health framework. And for article 32, it's not about open data. So I think you made the duplication there. Article 32 is about data privacy. So
yeah,
yeah,
Puchu, you know, I copied directly
that's
from the drive. I think you should make the corrections yourself. I copied directly from the drive. I didn't type. So check, it's still there, because the reports I gave, I collected them this morning around 11, you know. Professor Miriam, I also want to call your attention to some of the articles. We have some articles that have 8 pages, and we have some that maybe is like an extended abstract, though I didn't record those ones as a submission, a full submission for the abstract, but I don't know what we are going to do about that. Some that are not complete. We even have some articles that are about 63 pages. So I don't know what are we going to do about that, ma? Prof.
Yeah, let me answer that. But I see that Wandimo has raised his hand, so maybe we can take his question and then I'll get back to that point, Dr. Saknat. Wandimo?
Thank you, Prof. Miriam. Sorry, last week I had a connection problem and I couldn't update full information about the article that's from our side. So my question was, actually we are a bit behind from the deadline because of, I couldn't get a comment from Makale University and also some of the colleagues. So most of the activities in my shoulder. So I'm trying to finalize those three articles I've received from some of co-authors. But my question is, I've already submitted three abstract, but what I'm thinking is just to develop a manuscript, full manuscript as per the outline that's presented by you. So is that possible to publish also abstract? Because in some case, just you can publish a summary of, no more than 300 or 400 words as an abstract. That will be one that can be also published in the special issue. And also there is a manuscript which has very comprehensive and include all mentioned part of the article.
I think that, yeah, there's a different tradition between disciplines. I have to look with Feng Hong, but I don't think that the special issue will publish abstracts. So I do think that the articles need to be developed into full article. But there is time to do that. There's not a problem. And I can also say that everything that has a sufficient quality will be published. So we have different publishing strategies, and so you're not going to do work for nothing. But for the special issue, I think we will be seeking to have kind of a similar approach to all of the articles, so that they're also a little bit converging, and that these what we have in what I showed on the PowerPoint, these are the elements that should be there. But it doesn't mean if you have missed this deadline that there is no point in developing it, because as I said, there will be time for Susan to go through all of the 17 articles. So it can be an incremental rolling process, and articles that deserve to go to editing, they will go to editing. I can promise that. Now, on the question of Dr. Sakinat, I think it's a little bit the same question, that the articles that go to Susan, they should ideally really have all of these points. And so the authors, they should check that the articles are covering all of this, so that it's a comprehensive story. Is that sufficient, Dr. Sakinat, in terms of answering you?
I would like to add something to respond to Dr. Sakinat. We had agreed in some of our past webinars that the journal management team for VODAN Africa, which is a should write to these authors, because there's some of the proposed articles that we have just maybe the abstract only. There is no body, nothing has been written, to write a kind of reminder, giving an update on the articles. So I'm not sure if this had been done at any point, Dr. Sakinat.
Actually, we did it once with Misha and Aliyah. They sent out reminder to authors telling them the status of their article, and maybe we'll do a repeat of that too for those that that have extended abstracts, or when those that the work is not complete.
Sorry, may I ask a question? So do we need to send emails to those 17 articles or for everyone?
But Aliyah, I also think that I am ready to go through those 17 articles so that I can also see if they if they can receive some comments, how to you know, if they're very close to being sent, or that they can already be sent, or what needs to happen to these. So if I could review them and then send that to you and or Misha or Sakinat, if you can work out between in the team, and then you send those comments on to the office. Could that work?
Yes, this sounds very well. Yeah.
Yeah, I will start doing that this week. By Friday, Saturday, I should have it probably ready.
Yes, then Aliyah, to answer the question you asked, that are you sending mail to the 17 authors? No, the mail you are going to send will be to the papers that were not properly developed, or the ones that we don't have any responses from the authors as reminder. So this 17 now, we will take care of that. So we need to remind the ones that are not ready yet. Aliyah, do you get it?
So am I correct? So you mean that we need to send to all authors, like 34 or 35 article authors?
Except 17, except the 17 that have submitted full article.
Okay, yeah, now I see.
So the other ones that are not ready yet, those are the ones that will send mail to remind them.
Okay. But then Sakinat and Aliyah, let's do that after I've gone through all the articles, so that I also identify those articles where maybe someone in Mekelle had the lead. And then we can write to them specifically to ask if they, within the current deadlines, would still be able to develop that. It seems that they have taken the time to review everything. So I think we can give them that opportunity. So we have the 17, then we have the ones to be identified from Mekelle. For instance, there's an article of Gito on the work that he did with the DS wizard. I think that would be really good to have that article. So let's see if we can give him the opportunity to develop that. And then we have the remaining articles, and we should write to those authors to ask if they have submitted, if they're going to submit, to get an update on those. There is a question from Abdullahi Kau.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Just a clarification. What's the reference type we're using for the journal so that we take cognizance as we prepare it?
Sorry, what is the reference time?
So style of referencing.
The style of referencing.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we need that. I was going to talk about that. You are very right, because I see that many people have used footnotes, and then there are different styles used. So we need to get that to you in the next emails, the 17 and the ones for Mekelle, and then the remaining ones. We should give some specific information of what is required. and that should include the referencing. So let me, well, Sakina, do you want to pick that up with Feng Hong? Because that is basically just a decision by the journal.
I think the referencing journal is a numbering type. We discussed it in one of our meetings. The referencing style.
Which is the style that they use? I don't remember.
In the citation is number.
Okay, so then in the emails
in the citation. Okay, Prof.
I think you need to send information on the citation styling. Is a very good question of Abdullah. Because also that authors should have done, you know, that Susan cannot do that. So the authors should put it in the proper style, and the citation style should go to Susan so that she also knows the exact requirements of that style. She'll check it.
Okay, Prof.
Thank you, Abdullah, for that question, and yeah, Sakinat for the answer.
Yes, I will put it maybe next time we meet, but in one of our presentations, we had already done that for the abstract for references. Then please, these guidelines that you have on your slide here, I would suggest that you also put it on the chat room for us to download or have access to, so that we could also use it as guide to quickly put some of the things that some things in order before students start accessing the manuscript.
Yeah, I will add here, this is the fourth page. This is what we had, and this page, I will add the reference style and the number of words. You know, there's one article which has like 35 pages. That is totally not possible. So there's also a minimum number of words and a maximum number of words. So I will add that here, and then it can be even sent on the VODAN app, WhatsApp, so that people can check it.
Okay.
Sakinat, if you can send me on the WhatsApp the reference style, then I will add it here, and then I will send this to everyone. All right, I think Putu that we have probably exhausted, but maybe final comment is we have not closed the submissions for draft one yet. What is very, very important, if everybody can remember that, is that the articles that are really ready for submission, make sure that you have checked this, that you've checked the reference style, the number of words, and that you then send it to us, to Dr. Sakinat, myself, Aliyah, and Misha, so that we handle it. That you still continue to work on articles that are not yet finished. Don't stop. Continue because we still have time. But it is very excellent that we have the first article ready, and I've gone through quite a few, and they're really some articles, they are very, very ready for this phase. So congratulations to everybody, and yeah, well done as a team. It's really amazing that now by January we have so many first drafts. Really compliments.
Thanks, Professor Miriam. Is there any last question or comment before we close this session?
No, just say thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Abdullah.
And we're actually working on our manuscripts too. Sorry, I missed the last meeting. You had some personal excruciating circumstance, but then they have come over that. So I should be able to, before the end of the week, hand in a first draft on behalf of my co-authors.
Okay. And also just maybe before we finish, to be very clear, if you have any practical issues, then contact Alia or Sakinat. If you have any, if you need to talk about the content or how best to put the article together or what decisions to make, absolutely do not hesitate to contact Dr. Sakinat or Professor Francesca or myself. We are very, very happy to discuss it. And so just really feel comfortable to seek, I mean, not even help, but to have a communication. Sometimes you can get a very quick result once you have had that ability to discuss it. So feel very welcome. None of us have a problem with that. In fact, we appreciate it and we welcome it.
Okay, thank you, Professor Miriam. I guess no question anymore. So thank you, everyone. As always, the video recording of the webinar will be available this week in every channels, such as websites like OSF and WhatsApp group. Thanks again for participating in this session. We will see you next week. Bye.
Putu, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Maybe
Have a
we
good
can
week.
still improve.
Thank you. Bye.
You remember
Thank you.
I've raised that concern earlier, so please we can also update on the